Stop the cap.
Let me speak on this right quick. Um, and this, let me make a disclaimer from the very beginning. This it does not address all Gen Xers, but it damn sure addresses a lot of y'all because I've been seeing a lot of these gray bearded black men on Instagram, and they got a whole bunch to say about the younger generation of black men. Right, these guys they look to be about Kevin Samuel's age. Kevin was what 53 years old when he died. These guys look like they're anywhere from 50 just on up, not into their 60s necessarily. They look like they just entered their 50s. This is what a lot of these guys look like, and they got the gray beards, and they're just clearly Gen Xers. You know a Gen Xer when you see a Gen Xer, right? And they're criticizing young black men because we're not going for the bullshit, right? And I got to be careful about saying young because obviously I'm middle aged, but the men that are younger than them, the generations that are younger than them, I'll be a spokesperson for the younger generations. But I'm saying they criticize these young men about many of which have been coached or taught or had these conversations via even Kevin Samuels. A lot of people get mad at Kevin Samuels. They act like he's the godfather of the gender war conversations, like not realizing like this is an organic movement. Certain people gave it a voice compared to other people. Not everybody can articulate their thoughts and their feelings and their sentiments about a situation that the black community really just doesn't want to address. What irritates me about these Gen Xers is these Gen Xers, when they criticize all the young boys is that they're not doing manhood to our specifications. What manhood did you teach them? What manhood did you teach them? Because if I go back and I look at these numbers, when it comes to the amount of black children that have been born out of wedlock, like what the fuck were you doing? Especially these old niggas that got kids. You talking about what the young men are talking about and speaking about online, and they're not being met. What manhood did you teach them? Not to mention the fact I could flip it. I could go in the other direction, right? Not just what manhood did you teach them, because we know that many of you all didn't teach them anything because you weren't there and you weren't present, as fathers. But then, on the flip side, it's like, if you didn't teach anything, like who are you to criticize and talk about what they're doing wrong, right? When you didn't teach anything, like who are you to criticize? Like in other words, you left a hell of a legacy for these young men to walk into. Based off of the damage that many of you all did or contributed to. And you could whine and say, oh, well, we didn't know, and this, that, and the third. While your generation was like, oh, we didn't know, you participated in this shit. My generation and below are like, yo, we not doing it. We not doing it. You ain't never heard freaking all young black men in the community talking about we don't date single mothers. That has never been a thing in the black community. That is a thing now because the numbers are just so out of whack. They've gotten so out of whack. I don't know what makes people think that like shit's just going to go off into perpetuity. You know what I mean? That you could have a long-standing issue going on in the community, and that's just going to keep it's just going to keep growing, and it's just compounded interest, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and growing until it gets to a point to where the monster is so ugly that nobody wants to deal with it. And that's what the black community has been doing, building up this compounded interest of family dysfunction, gender dynamic dysfunction, to the point that any young black man born into the situation, they don't want to deal with this shit. And then everybody acts like, oh, when were you born, young little nigga? Motherfucker was born in the year 2000, and he's getting hit over the head with community responsibilities. Nobody passed him a torch. Nobody put him on. Nobody came to him with economic opportunities. But y'all gray bearded niggas got so much to say. Like that shit blows my mind. And people like Kevin Samuels, people can say, oh, he was grifting and this, that, and third, but some of the older guys have let young men know, like, hey, this is what is over the horizon. This is what you're going to end up dealing with. The black community is, I've talked about how matriarchal the black community is. The black community is a female-led community, primarily because, you have women who are mothers disproportionately compared to the men, since we have this, 61% of black women are mothers versus under age 50 versus 54% of 46% of black men being fathers. So we got a huge parental gap in the black community. And so the what is considered family, essentially is the women and the children. That's what's considered family. And so when you see who has roots in the community, it's a whole bunch of women with their children. And without any male input, the women get to basically just define, everything, right? And they think that they can just run around. And they do a horrible job of doing it, because they removed, because they're so anti-patriarchal, they've removed all of the aspects that would make a man want to participate, right? Because they don't like the idea of hierarchies and all that shit that patriarchy facilitates. They've removed all of the incentive, all of the reward, all of the acknowledgement, all of the things that even remotely look like it's saying men are better than women, right? This is the whole, just because you did X doesn't mean I got to do this. Just because you played this role doesn't mean I got to play this role, right? The women try to find all type of mental gymnastic ways to get out of being and doing the things that men want. And young men are seeing that, and they're saying, like to hell with it. Especially when you look at the fact that, yes, is the community a black male responsibility? 100% it's a black male responsibility. But the question is where is the community? Where is the community? If you a 25-year-old black man and you walk out here, like I said, look, going back to that CDC report, 77% of the black women who are mothers or will ever become mothers, 77% of the black women who will become mothers are mothers by age 25. They're already mothers by age 25. So you got a whole bunch of young men, whether they went to school, did whatever, they walk out here and it's just baby mamas galore. Baby mamas galore, because the women are sharing men. You don't think that you're going to get a reaction from that? You don't think that you're going to get frustrated young men that have been told like everything in the black community is the black male's fault and that we need to do better and this, that, and the third, and then like he goes out there and does that. He's on the straight and narrow, and he walks out there and he got to deal with another man's situation. No, you're going to hear bitching. You're going to hear bitching when you got freaking, disparities like that. You got freaking 2 million more mothers in the black community than fathers under the age of 50. You're going to hear bitching. You're going to hear men complain and say that they don't want to deal with that shit. Situations that they didn't create. This is the whole problem with these broad sweeping generalizations that tries to act like the mother to father ratio in the black community is 1-to-1 and that every nigga out here got a fucking kid. When they don't. That's why you hear the bitching. That's why you hear the swirling and going over the fence and all that stuff. And the fucked up part is like the lack of respect, the reputation that we have as black men. It's like what I say, with the white boys. The white boys get mad at black people fighting racism and whatnot, as opposed to being mad at their forefathers for setting it up this way to where, as a young white man, they walk into the world and get hit with the fucking evil bat. They get hit with the lineage of evil bat as soon as they come into the world. And as black men, as soon as we come into the world, we get hit with the, the what the generations of black men who came before us did or didn't do. And we got to wear that scarlet letter. And we got to walk with all these women walking around talking like it's like what they do and what they contribute to it gets completely ignored. And because it's just seen as, oh, it's just a black male problem and black men need to fix this, and that's what needs to happen. And again, you got 54% of the men underneath 50 not even participating in the shit. That's over half not even participating in the shit. And looking at it pragmatically, looking at the situation mathematically, and saying, is this something that I want to participate? Is this something that I want to do? What is with all this caping for single moms? I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand the audacity of men caping for women who have children, right? And acting like it's the responsibility of childless men to take on that burden of responsibility. Again, mentorship, community responsibility. Being a stepdaddy, that is not a community responsibility. Like all this stuff that men are complaining about, you're not listening. You're not listening. And I can't stand, I'll tell you, the black men I cannot stand. I cannot stand these churchy black men in the black community. They do what the pastors do, with all this coddling of women and, trying to get them in the church. And, because that's what you'll see in the comment section. You'll see all these women, clucking in the comment section. Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. That's all you see. And you get these old niggas and a lot of them will do it because they just trying to get some pussy points because, they got to listen to women talk about how they feel about 50-year-old men. It's not flattering. It's not flattering. And these guys, what they'll do is they're like, okay, I'm trying to get some pussy points. And then they'll come online, berating young men that don't want to deal with single moms. And then they'll sit there and they'll scoop up the good looking ones. They'll run around praising single mothers, trying to scoop up the good looking ones because they're 50 and she's 38 with a kid and she still looks good. And so they're trying to capitalize. And so they go up there with this cape shit. Like that's their game. That's their game now. Right? Because they can't holler at bitches straight up anymore because they too old. It looks weird. Right? So they come through with the caping, talking about, how wonderful, these women are, right? How come we don't see scores of these guys scooping these women up? Right? Because chances are, a lot of them, already got kids. Right? Where are these old niggas? Where are these 20-year age gaps or 10-year age gaps going on in the black community? Where is this going on? If you seem to know so much about black women and mothers and how wonderful they are and young men are just tripping, right? You're not listening. This is one of the reasons I can't stand these damn churchy black men because they come through, they try to even with the Bible, they'll try to come through with the and men should be this way because the Bible says this and this is how men should be, right? But none of the things are in place to even allow men to be that. They're just simply not there because it wasn't set up. None of the stuff in the Bible that talks about what should be passed on and providing for family, that wasn't done for a lot of these young men. These young men are literally walking out into the world butt naked and they got to get it out the mud themselves. And there's a lot of black people, especially older black people, who act like that's normal. That's normal. Well, I struggled. I didn't have this, and that's the way that it's supposed to be. And in the same breath, these niggas be turning around making videos talking about legacies and generational wealth. I'm like, well, which one is it, nigga? Is it legacies and generational wealth, or is it everybody has to start at zero when they come out here as a young black man? Make up your mind. And a lot of that is just them dodging responsibility because they don't want to have to mentor. They don't want to have to, invest in these young. They don't want to, but they got a whole bunch of mouth to sit there and criticize these young men about situations that they didn't create and they don't want to walk into. God, these old niggas get on my damn nerves. Again, I see some of you gray bearded Gen Xers in my comment section and watching my videos and everything. I'm not talking about all of y'all, but y'all know the niggas I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. These simp ass niggas that come through and they got their capes out, talking about, oh, these young men did it. Where was you? Where was you with the mentorship? Where was you with the freaking, giving these young men guidance? The majority of y'all weren't there. That's why it's been said in the black community, 70% of black children, firstborn children, have been born out of wedlock. That's been said for a very long time. That's not anything new. But because now you see, we're like the black community is on its last leg. You got men just saying, hey, I ain't doing it. I'll do something else. I'll figure something else out. Either go over the fence or go monk. They're not doing it. They're not engaging with, a bunch of feminist, matriarchal, LGBTQ black women who are baby mamas. They're not dealing with that shit, man. It's like, nah, do something else, And again, the black community is still geared towards, caping for and coddling black women. It's still geared towards that. It's still geared towards like black men are supposed to like fall on their sword, to save the image of black women because the image of black women is just trash. And at no point can we address how black women contribute to their own negative imagery, how they contribute to their own demise. You got women online talking about what they not going to do. I got the video of Gabrielle. Gabrielle Union is 10 years older than Dwayne Wade. And up there talking about she's in her soft girl era. Bitch, you 50 years fucking old. Talking about I'm in my soft girl era. Like the fuck? And it just goes back to what we talked about before. This whole renegotiating the contract. Like you gotta. This what we keep talking about, Captain Solo and myself about. Why brothers need to be on point because you're going to have to absorb women's bullshit. Now, if a man can't absorb her, well, I want to be a sprinkle, and I want to be a stay at home wife, and I'm in my soft girl era. If Dwayne Wade couldn't cover that, he would be dusty. And that's how in the black community a lot of this shit breaks out into fights. I said that in another video I didn't post because if he was working at fucking working for the state or some shit like that and was making $85,000 a year or whatever, that would be dust because he probably wouldn't be able to cover her being in her soft girl era. Now all of a sudden he's dust, even though the freaking the terms of the relationship was that it was going to be 50-50 or 60-40 or 70-30, whatever the hell it was. But she wasn't just going to just sit home, kick up her feet and do nothing. Like I can't, and I just can't stand a lot of these old niggas that like you've been out the dating game too long. You don't know what's going fucking on. You have stale information or just completely incorrect information about what's going on. Like, are there men in the conversation that are just saying shit to be mean spirited? Yeah, sure there are. Just like there's women who is just running around saying shit to be mean spirited and calling black men bullet blags and talking about how they don't care if they get shot by the police and shit like that. Yeah, there's mean spirited people on both sides. But the essence of the conversation is men are saying no to a lot of this bullshit that has been allowed. Because all in efforts to protect the black woman's image. All these, oh, the black woman is God, or oh, the black woman, we gotta don't talk about her. You know what I mean? Like all we're gonna do is talk. We're gonna have this one-sided conversation about black men and their sexual responsibility and how they need to be fathers when the majority of black men under 50 don't even have kids, while the majority of black women do. That doesn't even make remote sense. But this is how the black community wants to frame things. Like they have more kids on their side. There's more mothers on their side, but the way that we solve this issue in the black community is talk about black men being sexually responsible and how fathers need to be in the home. Like I said, if women are sharing men, there aren't enough men to put in the homes. Again, going back to that 2015 to 2019 CDC report, in the under 50 population, we have 5.1 million fathers and 7.2 million mothers. Right? That's what we got. That's a rough estimate of what we got. That's a 2 million parental gap in the under 50 crowd. So even if you wanted to take all the so-called fathers who abandoned their children and put them in a home, the niggas that got more than one baby mama can only be put in one home. Unless they're going to adopt Islam and have a harem of women all living underneath one roof, that's the only way you'd be able to correct that shit. And that's on the stupid ass women who decided that they're going to have a baby by a nigga that already got a baby with another bitch. That's y'all stupid ass bitches' fault. Nobody told you to go out there and do that shit. You know, just silliness. It's like this shit that you see with the freaking Haley Bailey. Bitch, I grew up in the motherfucking suburbs. You grew up in the motherfucking suburbs. And you go out here and you get with DDG? You get with DDG. That's how your father fucking raised you and your mother raised you to get with a wannabe, you know, a freaking street dude. That's what you got with. You know, same thing with who's the other chick? Who's the other Disney bitch that went off and fucking, you know, got pregnant by a light-skinned Dusty? What's the chick? Something Jackson? What's her damn name? I forget what her damn name is. So who's a Disney girl? Let me pull up her name because I want to get the name right. Something Disney. Hold on. Disney girl. What's her name? Yup, that's her name. Sky Jackson. Former Disney star Sky Jackson is pregnant. Just no ring on it. You know, if it ain't her and it's Keke Palmer, you know what I mean? Just trash, yo. Just the way that they none of these women had these women were not in poverty. They weren't forced into any situation. These are fucking decisions. These are decisions. But yeah, it's all of black men's fault. And anything that the black woman does, despite all of the my body, my choice, and I'm going out here, nigga, I do what the fuck I want to do. You can't tell me nothing. Feminism, Kamala Harris, fist in the air. When they go out here and they do this shit, it's niggas' fault. It's niggas' fault. Motherfuckers not even in the blast radius. Doesn't matter. Niggas' fault. It's niggas' fault. That's how it is. It's always Jermaine's fault. And this is what we talking about. You know, acting like niggas online. Oh, the niggas is whining. Oh, they're crying. You know, they're bitching, right? And I can see how it sounds that way. But I'm so glad that this shit is being dragged into the fucking daylight. That we are no longer sweeping this bullshit underneath the rug. It's like when I was dating a sister, you know, and I'm sitting in their house, and you know, the mother who heard she had a daughter who was adopted, and the mother, you know, was up there talking about, we don't talk about stepchildren around here. And I'm like, yo, this man adopted your child, right? Supported your child, and you got the audacity to sit here and talk about, you know, we don't talk about stuff. You should be thankful. You should be thankful. You know what I mean? It was just like just the whole this whole attitude, like black men are supposed to operate and function in service to black women with no reciprocity in mind. There's no reciprocation. There's nothing that the men are allowed to expect or want or desire. Black women try to make it like black men owe black women, some sort of reparations because the race war was lost. Because slavery happened. Like I'm tired of these old niggas talking, doing that same old tired Derek Jackson stint. You know what I'm saying? Coming out with the capes, knocking everybody over with "Don't talk about her, don't talk about our queens." You know what I mean? Like, nah. It's and especially in the face of all the equality that has been rammed down our throats. Oh, it's equality. Oh, equality, equality, equality. Until it comes to some accountability, until it comes to some damn blame, until it comes to addressing any of these issues. No, it's always gotta be the black man's fault. And what's so crazy, it's like even now, again, when you have more and more black men that are not participating in this situation, this whole broken family, single mother situation, more and more black men are not participating in this. Like, what is going to be said then? Like, what is going to be said when the numbers get so retarded? Because again, the trend right now in 2026, it was 49% of black men, were fathers, right, under the age of 50. In 2010, it was 46.6% of black men were fathers. In 2015 to 2019, it was 46%. So that's a downward trend. That's a downward trend. And, again, I wish that I had some more numbers, some updated numbers. The CDC came out with a report. That was a nothing burger because that was talking about overall trends of the declining birth rate. I guess they stopped this study. And then you got Trump going in there fucking firing people from the goddamn CDC. So I guess we'll never know like what any of these updated numbers are until, freaking 4 years from now. So this is where we're at. But the trend was black men, the percentage of black men that were fathers underneath 50, was going down. And what else was I going to say about? Oh, and because there was something else that they had to talk about, the number of men across the board that are entering their 40s without being fathers has gone up. Now I attribute that probably to COVID and the the shitty ass job market. And this is really what it comes down to. Everybody wants to talk about sexual responsibility, black men. Bottom line, across the board, when men don't have any money, and I'm talking about the majority of men, when men recognize, again, because we're measured by our ability to produce and our ability to provide and actually have tangibles, we're measured by that. We feel that shit. So when we look at the landscape and we say, damn, I can't do X, Y, and Z, or a man says, hey, I'm barely taking care of myself, why am I going to bring a family into the world? Men look at that. Men look at the numbers. They look at the situation on the ground. Women, by and large, do not. Women just say, it is time. I feel it is time for me to be a mother. And I don't care whether there's resources on the ground or not. And they just go off and find any dude. Because let's face it, going to a sperm bank is expensive. Most sisters ain't going to do that. Most sisters are going to go and they're going to find a Dusty. They're going to get with the Dusty, make the Dusty think that they're interested in him for him, get his sperm, have the baby, and then complain about him for the rest of her life, even though she knew the nigga didn't have his shit together or didn't have the capacity to begin with. But she going to sit there and she going to complain about him forever and blame him because that's just the narrative that everybody's so comfortable and familiar with, right? Oh, it makes sense. Oh, you're a black woman and you're a single mom now and you're doing your best and he's just a Dusty. And he got lured into some shit thinking like, oh man, she feeling me for me. And that's his fault for being fucking stupid. But again, the person that had malicious intent was the woman. When you got a person that's not that smart, everybody is not that smart. You got dumb men and you got dumb women. And dumb men get taken advantage of by a lot of women who just want a baby. When a woman wants a baby, she wants a baby. You know what I mean? She'll be trying to trick you on other shit. I've had that shit happen to me. Women are, oh, I don't want to use a condom. Oh, I want to feel you and all that other bullshit. They use all type of shit. Let me be on top. Yeah, that way when you get ready to bust, she ain't gonna get the fuck all type of dumb shit that women will do. Fucking going and taking condoms out of the trash can, all type of bullshit. Shit that you didn't consent to. But somehow women want to talk about consent all the time, but apparently, that's not consent. You know what I mean? You take the condom and you throw it in the trash can, and she goes and gets it and puts a baby in her, and now you on the ringer for the next 18 years. But we ain't gonna talk about that. Like I'm just tired of these old niggas just opening their mouth and shit. It would be one thing if the older black men really laid down a foundation and young niggas was just deviating. Young niggas was just out here just doing whatever. Right? I gotta be careful about saying me being middle aged and shit. But I'm saying you get my point, right? Young niggas are just out here just the foundation was there. The financial loans were there, the economic opportunities were there. Those older niggas, they done set everything up. All you have to do, young man, is just walk it right on in. We have some gainful employment for you, right? That would be one thing. They have all the right in the world to criticize and do all that bullshit you see in Africa where they lying prostrate on the floor, which I don't even know why the Africans are doing when you got so many young African men fleeing to Europe. What are they laying on the ground prostrate for? For what? You haven't done anything. For what? And this is where I have the same problem that black women have against the older generation of black men. My criticism to black women about this shit is if you see this shit, why do you continue to just go out here and have babies and shit? Why don't you have a pussy moratorium and shut this shit down if this is what you're really, because they've never been concerned about that. Community building and all that shit, that was not a concern. It might have been a fleeting thought, but it was never a concern to the point that black women were going to shut shit down on their end. It's a criticism because black men, the young black men, dared open their mouth and say and talk about submission and talk about black women following and cooperating because young black men felt that they were just dealing with all sorts of resistance and didn't know where it was coming from. People talking about, how come I talk about the political stuff? I'm not talking about, the gender war, community stuff anymore like that. Because we don't want the same thing. That's the end of the conversation. Black men and black women do not want the same thing. Black women want this whole matriarchal, thing. Just look at the rage that happened post-election with Donald Trump's loss. I said Donald Trump's win. I said loss in the last video, but I'm saying just look at everything with the post-election. All the way that they were coming at us, the way we were getting cursed out, despite the fact that 78% of the black men who voted just like black women. But even just the argument of as though we're supposed to vote the way that black women vote. See, wrong orientation right off top. Right off top. Matriarchy right off top. It is well within any black man's right to say, I can't stand the culture. And I feel like a lot of that gets mistaken because people will assume that, this black man is self-hating because, he doesn't like black people or doesn't like black women. No, you can hate the culture. You can hate the culture but love black people. I'm one of those people. I hate the culture. Can't stand the culture. But I love my people. You see? And it's like, what do you do with a situation like that? Because anytime you try to challenge the culture, that's Eurocentric, that's Euros, people start trying to dismiss the shit. And all you're gonna end up with is the same behavior, the same belligerence, the same resistance, the same lack of cooperation, the same bad attitudes, the same matriarchal beliefs. That's all you're gonna end up with. And you can't one man army that shit. You can't alpha your way through that. I had to address brothers, years ago with that shit. You know what I'm saying? You are not going to be able to alpha your way, through a woman who wants power. It doesn't work like that. She wants to call the shots. She wants to pull the big dick out. Okay, she's Ebony K. Williams. You're not going to alpha your way through that. You need to recognize that you're just incompatible and move on. That doesn't require a whole bunch of name calling and putting hexes on people and all that shit and doing voodoo spell. You don't need to do all that. Hey, chick, hey. You just wipe your hands over it. Hey, cool. And see, that's what sisters really don't like, because they don't like this aspect where like they don't really understand that we're not getting with the shit. We're not getting with what they have assumed is just the natural matriarchal order of things in the black community. They assume that we just supposed to fall in line, just like you heard in that Cat Fu video. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they think. So, we run into chaos with that shit. And I say, don't deal with it. Do not deal with it. Brothers out here working too damn hard to try to, it's an uphill battle. It's like when I talk to Cap about, being a light skinned dude. Like, one of the reasons he went into, wanting to be an engineer and work with his hands and everything, because he was sick and tired of people always assuming because he's a pretty light skinned dude that looks like, freaking Christopher Williams from New Jack City, that he didn't know how to do anything, and he just being pretty and shit like that. He had a judge throw the book at him. He got caught sleeping in a park and went to the judge, and the judge threw the book at him because even his dad was like, "Damn, son, you got the wrong face." The judge was a black woman, took one look at him and was like, I know who you are. You one of these Milli Vanilli looking ass, Philip Michael Thomas looking ass niggas out here just running through a bunch of women. You out here breaking hearts. That's why your ass was sleeping in the park. You was sleeping in the park because some black woman who gave you the benefit of the doubt and let you sleep on her couch. You did her wrong and cheated on her, right? That's literally what the judge probably thought, not realizing that because Captain Solo's father didn't do the right thing, that this man, was sleeping in the park because he was fucking homeless. You know what I'm saying? He was working doubles at the plant trying to make money so that he could save up enough to get himself established. And here you got the judge look at him just assuming off of the strength of him being a pretty light-skinned dude that everybody was just bending over backwards to just roll out the royal carpet for him. And the same thing happens, with black men. You a young black man out here, everybody assumes the negative of you. You're not even participating in shit. Oh, negative. You know what I mean? No children. You got women out. You make it to 30, 35, 40. You ain't got no fucking kids. Black women. I bet you got kids. No, I don't have any kids. Why not? Because I'm not married. Well, that's just the ones that you don't know about. Like, this is the type of responses that these bitches are running around giving niggas. I know that there's ones out. No, bitch, just because you were sexually irresponsible when you were 22 doesn't mean I'm sexually responsible. Fuck out of here. You can shut down a lot of conversations. Oh, why don't you have kids? Because I'm not married. That's why I don't have no kids. I'm not married. They feel judged at that point. You can't plan kids. The hell I can't, bitch. The hell I can't. Fuck out of here. This is the shit that we gotta fucking deal with. And everybody acts like we're speaking a foreign language when we break this shit down in basic ass fucking the form. Everybody acts like like we're speaking Klingon or some shit like that. Like they don't see it everywhere. Because again, we're still a community that tries to protect the image of black women, and we refuse to examine the ways in which black women contribute to their own demise and contribute to many of the problems that go on in the black community. You know what I mean? There's certain men that should not be dealt with. Just straight up. Should not be dealt with, should not be followed. None of, and the women, it's like the dustier the better. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't get enough of these niggas. And you be sitting there looking at the motherfucker like, ain't this a bitch, man? This motherfucker ain't got nothing going on. And you know why they go that route? Because the motherfucker, he's not in the position to tell them what to do, right? He's not in a position to call the shots, right? She can hide her bullshit behind him not having his stuff together or behind his bad behavior. Oh man, if he got a criminal record, oh please, that's even better. That's even better because everything is going to be tied back to, well, he got a felony. Well, he got a felony, so I'm still doing better than he is. Everything is going to be hidden behind, all her bullshit is going to be hidden behind how fucked up he is. So women who want to be able to have a scapegoat and do whatever the fuck they want to do, oh, the dustier, the better. The better. They can't get any better than a motherfucker that's all fucked up. And then have his babies. Mwah! That shit is the chef's kiss. It's the chef's kiss because now she gets all of the multi-generational, black woman holding it down, care, just and she hasn't accomplished shit in her fucking life other than having some fucking babies. I was talking to a white guy from Arkansas, and I was asking him about racism. He's just a country white guy and everything, but he's like level-headed. Like, you can ask him a question and he'll give you a straight answer. And I said, man, what is with the white supremacy shit? Like, what is with the shit? Like, and I just asked him. I said, it like, is it just this idea of feeling better? Like, what is it? And he hit me with it was an obvious answer, but he hit me with just it makes sense. He just said point blank period. He said no. The fact of the matter is you got a lot of poor white people. They haven't accomplished shit in life, and the only thing that they have is their whiteness. Which I think I had a video that I posted on in one of my videos. I had a video. The guy that was like a UFC guy. He was talking about it. He's basically said the same thing. He said that's all they have. And they're going to cling on to that for dear life. Like, if black people got an inferiority complex, because, slavery and ooga booga, and you live in mud huts and y'all never accomplished anything, which is bullshit because white people erased all of our history. But I'm saying white folks have a superiority complex. This is why they get butt hurt and fucked up every time, we go out here and do something that doesn't involve in them or doesn't center them. Then they got to play the victim to try to recenter themselves. Like, this is the type of shit that they do. And the thing is when it comes to being a black man in relationship to a black women do the same thing. Black women are the white people of the black community. They have to be the fucking center of shit. They have to, it has to be, because we're downtrodden, right? As black men, like, we're supposed to be fucked up. We're supposed to be in and out of jail. We're supposed to have kids all over the place and whatnot. And when we don't have that, and you get a black woman and she hasn't accomplished a whole bunch, you know what I mean? Then she feels fucked up. And it shouldn't even be like that. Like, it shouldn't even be that type of comparison. She should see a brother that's got it going on, and then she should feel happy and she should feel proud, right? But two things happen. One of the things that happen is, again, that whole competitiveness and, no, you all are supposed to be beneath us, because we're black women and we're strong and independent, and the DNC told us X, Y, and Z about us. And then on the flip side, what's the other flip side? I don't want to have my shit lose my train of thought. The flip side, hold on, it's coming to me. I just had it at the tip of my tongue. Hold on. Got it. The rejection part. Because, oh yeah, black women love coming across a black man that's kicking ass and doing everything. Oh, they love that until they realize that you don't want them. When you don't want them, oh, destroy him. He must be destroyed. Destroy guards, right? Now she wants you fucking destroyed. Because now you've shattered her, her ideas and her, and the stupid thing is just like, even the validation that they get from that, it's fleeting. It's like a half a second validation, because you got a lot of women out here, yeah, they want you to choose them to validate them, but when you get into the nitty gritty of what it really means to deal with a man that's in that type of position, they can't handle that shit, because they start looking at it like, oh well, I'm living in his shadow, and oh, I want my autonomy and all this other stuff, and oh, and then you got the other matriarchs in the background, girl, he can't control you, girl, da 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 da, and then next thing you know, she's sabotaging the fucking relationship. Again, Steve Harvey told Keke Palmer, hey, I got some brothers for you, you up and coming, artist and whatnot. Hey, or actress. Hey, I'm gonna hook you up. Steve Harvey, right? I don't know what Steve Harvey's net worth is. Probably like anywhere from $50 to $100 million or more. What's Steve Harvey's net worth? Why do I say these things out loud and then knowing damn well I'm gonna sit here? Steve Harvey's net worth. Steve Harvey net worth. Let's see, 2025. $200 million. When a black man worth $200 million says, hey, I got some brothers for you, I'm going to hook you up, you don't just blow that fucking off unless you a goddamn matriarch and you want to run shit and you want to do whatever the fuck you want to do. That's when you do shit like that. And see, again, look, the Gen Xers, man, y'all time is up. That's all I gotta say about it. Y'all time is up. Okay. You took things as far as you're gonna take it for those that, open their mouth like Kevin Samuels and whatnot. But the generations below y'all, we've taken this shit further. We have turned over every fucking rock. We don't give a fuck. What do we got to lose? We're going to lose the community. What are we going to lose? The freaking economic opportunities that don't exist in the black community. What are we going to lose? The access to the networks that y'all don't own, operate, or control. What are we going to lose? Right? What's going to happen? What y'all going to get violent with us? We got more guns than y'all niggas. What y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it's over. It's over. Pack it the fuck up. It's over. Damn. Anyway, I'm done with this rant. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello?
Where
Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!